Hello everyone, FunshineX here. Welcome back to ComputerCraftEDU tutorials. Last time we covered the remote control and how we used it to control turtles, make them dig, move around, and do some other stuff. Today we're going to add another layer on that, go into the visual editor so that we can program turtles to do what we want and copy those programs to other things, reuse those programs, do a bunch of things. We're not going to go in-depth, super in-depth to the visual editor yet. That'll be in an upcoming video tutorial. But today we want to do an overview and use them visual editor to help us determine which turtle is best for what job. As in front of me, we've got the 4 Ninja Turtles and their sensei here, and each of them have a different tool. We've got Leo's got the pickaxe. That didn't really make sense. None of them really make sense. Raph's got an axe. Mike's got a hoe. Donnie's got a shovel, and Sensei has a sword. What I want to know is how many diamonds do I need to invest to do certain things? The pickaxe and the axe are both a 3-diamond investment. The sword and the hoe would be 2 diamonds, the shovel 1. So why waste more diamonds than we really need? That's the issue we want to solve. And we're going to use the visual editor to do that so we can kind of see an overview. So let's start describing what problem. We want to know what blocks a tool can break. We also want to know what other purposes that tool can be used for besides breaking blocks. And the last thing, how much damage that tool will do. So we've got our trusty little pigs here. They're going to be our punching bags to take some damage, see how our tools perform. I've got 4 blocks here ranging from obsidian, stone, planks, and dirt, just to see what kind of blocks the tools can break. And then we'll see if any of the tools has some extra abilities. So let's start with Leo here and his pickaxe. That's usually the easiest one. What we're going to do is we're going to put the block in question above him. And normally if we're using the remote control, we can dig, but that only digs in front. And we're going to error, so there's nothing to dig. What if we want him to dig up? What if we want him to attack down? We're going to have to program that. So the top tab here is your programming tab, and it opens up the visual editor. By default, you can't click in here. There's nothing to do. You can't drag any of these. If you're trying to do that and you're like, why the heck isn't it working? It's because you haven't created a program yet. All you have to do is click on this new program here, and you're getting the program. It's going to call it a library. And the reason it calls it a library rather than a program is it's actually creating a snippet of code that can then be used in other libraries, and that can be used in other libraries. And so it's not truly just a program because there's some other things around it. But anyway, we're going to call it whatever we want. We're going to call this tool tester. And it has to have a name. It can't have a space. It'll error out. It can't, I think if you put weird characters in here, it'll get errors. So just do alphanumeric, no spaces, and you're good to go. There's a couple bugs where if you type too long, it goes off the side of the screen. That's already been logged. Don't worry about it. But here we go. So now that we have we've named our library, we have a bunch of things that have opened. If we mouse over the grid here, this little red yellow box appears, and it's going to kind of give us a visual guide on what we need to do to write our program. This is the, let's call this the canvas, the programming canvas, okay? I'll refer to that. I might call it the grid, I might call it the programming area, whatever I do. Just know that that means this area here. Over here, these are components. You can think of these as actions or steps or snippets, whatever you want. These all translate into actual Lua code behind the scenes. So you can see there's quite a bit of them. Most of them are pretty straightforward, some of them are not. These green ones are like a block of statements, so it's not just a single thing. It kind of creates a section of code to do things. We'll go into the green blocks later, but let's just start very simple. Obviously we've got move forward. Drag that out on here and place it in there, and it moves forward. That's just like hitting the remote control, hitting move forward, and we can actually see that if we run the program. Leo moved forward. Okay, so let's go back into that program, and we need to put him back in place. So let's just, instead of dragging and dropping, we can just click on the yellow here, and let's say, well, move back, Leo. All right, and then we've already moved him forward once, so if we move him forward again, we're going to need to move him back twice. I can put it back on the end, that's fine, or I can put it on a new line, that's fine as well. So there we go. And you can see the yellows are kind of like telling me you can add more code here if you want. So let's go ahead and go over to the remote mode, because then I can see Leo do his thing, and I can still run the program as well here. He goes forward, back, back, just like we programmed. Cool. All right, so let's go back into our program, and now we just want him to, let's say we want him to go forward, we want him to turn around, All right. And then we want him to go forward again, because now he's going to come out. He's going to do a 180, because each of these turns is a 90-degree turn. Go forward again, so now he's going to go back, and then let's turn him the other direction. He's kind of going to do a little strut. All right, so we could call this strut. Let's go back to remote control. I like to run it from the remote because you can see it easier. Even if you want to do it in Turtle Vision, you could do that as well. But let's watch it from Funshine's vision. Oh, that pig's probably going to escape. Oh, well, I can put a new one in there. All right, so if we want to, if we've got like a problem in our code and we're trying to debug it, figure out what's wrong, we can just run it here and it might stop it with an error. Or we can do this step through, or we can do undo last to go back to the beginning. So let's do a step. The first thing he was going to do is move forward. And, oh, this starts the program, so you're going to have to click it again. There's the move forward. Turn left, move forward again, turn right, turn right. There he goes. So we'll go ahead and do that in the full mode. There he goes. Pretty cool. All right, awesome. So that's how you can both use the visual editor to do very simple movements in a sequence. You know, program a long string. It can go. You can see this visual editor is quite long, so you can go quite a number of statements, and that's how you run it, either from the programming tab or from the remote tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and it's the only way to really clear this is just delete the program and start new. It's just easier. You're also going to want to be careful. If you write this huge program and it's like very large and then you're like, oh crap, I forgot to do something on the first line. It's kind of going to be iffy. You probably want to call that code from another library, and I'll show you how to do that in the next episode. But just be careful if you want to insert things, because once I add things, you know, let's just say I've added a bunch of code here. There's no way to go and insert a row. I'm going to make that request to Dan200. He watches these videos. So, Dan, it'd be really cool if you could like right click or click here and like insert row maybe, just so you can move everything down. That would be really awesome and completely solve that problem. The only other way you could do it is to create a new library, which we'll do here, and then put in our new row and then call our other library from it, which I think you do by doing that. That's kind of how you insert a row at this point. Okay. But anyway, so let's go into Tool Tester. Let's clear it out again and actually do the tool test. So remember, what did we want to do? We wanted to dig, and we wanted to dig above us. So we find the dig command. There it is, right there. Put it on there, and it's going to give us three choices. Dig, which is the forward dig, up, or dig down. We want to dig up. And a quick, we're going to look at a basic turtle here. This is how they come when you craft them. If I look at this one's visual editor, you can see the dig and the attack are grayed out. That means he does not have a tool. This does not check for the appropriate tool. So if you try to dig with a sword, you're going to get an error, but the visual editor is fine. As long as there's some kind of tool attached to him, it'll let you use either the dig or the attack command, but they might error if it's the wrong thing, and that's what we're going to see in a minute. Okay, so Leo now has a program. Oh, did we not save it? Apparently we didn't save it here. All right. Dig up. There we go. Oh, and that's what happened. I remember these programs are all shared for all the turtles that belong to you. So if I've programmed Tool Tester on this machine and I go over to this one, there it is. It's right there. And if I go ahead and clear it, because it's like, oh, that had an error, and I go back to this one, it's cleared. So that's where I got confused there. All right, so dig up. And we'll go ahead and go to Visual Editor, or I mean the remote, and hit run. And see, he had no problem with dirt. Let's go ahead and try the wood. He did no problem with that. Stone and obsidian. All right, let's get one more just for a full test. Error. Okay, so diamond pick can break anything you would expect and nothing that you wouldn't expect. There we go. So he stops at bedrock. Let's move over to Raph. We'll come back to the pigs in a minute. So Raph has an axe, and I don't have to write any code because I've already got that code in there, right? It's already selected. It's already running. Actually, no, I do need to click on it first. So click on the thing if you haven't selected it before, and we'll go ahead and run it. An axe can do dirt. It can do wood, and it can do stone. And it can do obsidian. Okay, so this, but you don't get it back. So there's a key difference there, is that Leo was able to break all 4, and they returned all 4 blocks came back. Raph was able to break all 4, but he did not get the stone or the obsidian back. So if you have a felling turtle, that's what they're called, if they have an axe, he can break the blocks, he just can't actually harvest them. Okay? Let's move over to Mike. He's got the hoe, so we'll start with dirt. And we need to select the program there. Oh, he's got a problem. Oh, we need to clear the air. There we go. Select the program, come here. What happened? Unbreakable block detected. Alright, so he could not dig dirt at all. He can't do wood, and so forth. So the farming turtle cannot break any blocks at all. And obviously they don't come into his inventory either, because he can't break them. Okay, moving on to Donnie, who has the shovel. He should be able to dig dirt, you'd expect, right? Yes, he can. Wood? No, he cannot. Okay, so the shovel, or the what's this guy called? I can't remember. Digging turtle, maybe? Shoveling turtle? Can do dirt and only dirt. Alright, last test. Here's Sensei here. He's got the diamond sword. He can, why is it not selected? There it goes. He cannot break anything at all. The diamond sword, even though you could use it to break stuff in the real game, the attacking turtle cannot break any blocks. Okay? Let's go now to the pigs. I'm going to start, well, let's start back with Leo. We're going to go into the visual editor, change our program, and we're going to use the attack command and do attack down. There we go. And go ahead and go back to remote and run it. This guy did 1.5 hearts. Okay? Raph, let's see, has it loaded our new program? It has, so we don't have to do anything of that. We just run it. And that one did 3 hearts. So the axe is definitely, it's twice as strong as the pick. Alright, and Mike here, let's see how he does. 1.5, so the hoe is the same strength as the pick for attacking. Shovel. 1.5, same, and now we've got the diamond sword. And that does 4.5 hearts. So what have we found? Well, we know that if we want to break anything stone or higher, we will need a mining turtle with a diamond pick. If we want to break anything really low, like dirt or gravel, go with the shovel, because he only costs 1 diamond. If we want to do wood and dirt, go ahead and go with the felling turtle. But the felling turtle is both worse than the mining turtle at digging, and worse than the attacking turtle at attacking. So really, Raph, I'm sorry, you're kind of worthless because you don't do anything better than anyone else. Okay, so I'm gonna say if you want to dig something, really light, and you just want to cost 1 diamond, go with the shovel. If you want to dig some heavy mining, always go with the pick, and if you're going to do attacking, go with the shovel. Okay. Does the Hoeing Turtle have any purpose? Well, there is one special use, and this is the only turtle, as far as I know, that has a special purpose, and that's the hoe. And if I put a block in front of him, and we change our program instead of to attack or dig, we go to dig, but we leave it as dig in front, and then we go ahead and run that. You can see it hoes it. So that only works when it is in front, or Mike, come here, I need you to go above. Let's like that. Turn around. Let's go ahead and have you dig down. There you go. So it works both below him and in front of him, but not above him. Oops. Oh, come on. Talk to Mike here. So back to program. Let's put the dig again. Dig up. And it gives it undetectable. So if you want to farm and keep an area fertilized, or hoe a very large area automatically, you can use the Hoeing Turtle. He's the only one that can do that. And remember, it must be in front of him, directly in front of him, or below him. Okay, there you go. So there's your turtles and their tools. And we've used the visual editor to test and find out who's better at what. Okay, and just to see, I'm going to go back into survival. My diamond sword, for me, does 4. So the turtle himself, the attacking turtle, is even better than me. So very, very useful for a mob farm and that kind of thing. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you what the visual editor can do. And we're going to go with the classic felling of a tree. So let's get, we said, Raph, he's got the axe, but you're just not good, Raph. So we're going to go with Leo. Oops, I need to go back into creative mode. All right, come with me, Leo. Put him at the base of a tree. We want to write a program that will dig out this tree, come back to Earth, and plant a sapling and return right where he is. Okay? So the first thing we want to do is detect what is in front of us. If we have wood in front of us, we're going to go ahead and dig it out and move forward. Then we're going to do a loop and detect up. If we have wood above us, we will dig and move up, and then dig up and move up until we don't have wood, because then we're going to either be in the sky or be a sapling. At that point, we're going to return back to the ground until we detect dirt and back up and plant a sapling. That's the pseudocode. That's what we're going to try to do really quick. I'm not going to explain everything that I'm using. I'm just going to kind of go ahead and show you how I would program that. We might have a little bit of trial and error, that kind of thing. So remember, the first thing we said we want to do is detect what's in front of us. So I'm going to do an if, and it says I've got to add a boolean. So I'm going to construct a thing that's a boolean. So I'm going to say if, where is it? Inspect block in front of me equals a block called oak wood. Where is it? Oops, I think it's just called wood, actually. Yep, oak wood is called wood. And we say then, go ahead and do a big program here, and we're going to do dig forward. So dig, then move forward. The next thing we're going to do is inspect up. So we'll do another if check. If the inspect above us is equal to oak as well. Oops, I did it again. It's equal to wood. Then we are going to dig up and then move up. Okay. Else, so come down here. I'm going to do an else. So that means, oops, wait, that's only going to do it once. We need to run a while loop here. So let's say while, if we take the if off and replace it with a while, should work fine. We can get the else gone. So while the block above is equal to wood, we need to change that to a do, dig up, move up, and that's going to end. Okay, so he's going to move all the way to the top of the tree. Then we're going to say while inspect down equal block. Oops, we're going to change this to not equal. Dirt. Okay. Then do move down. Okay. So he's going to go all the way up to the top. He's going to detect something that's not wood, come all the way back to the dirt and ground, and keep moving down until he detects dirt. Then we need to back him up. And this is still part of this check here. So move back, and then we need to select a sapling. Now, if we can define things like, let's say we always know we're going to put saplings in the first slot, and then we just define that as a rule, then it's easy. There are ways to go cycle through every slot and look for a sapling to plant. We're just going to tell our turtle, you will guarantee that you have saplings in your first slot. So let's go ahead and say, select a slot, slot number 1. And I love this, how it shows you which slot it is. It kind of sucks when it's down here. You've got to scroll the menu down, but that's really cool. All right, so we're going to select slot 1, and we are going to place in front of us, so we don't have to do anything. Oops, yeah, we move back, we placed a sapling, and then we're done, right? Well, let's give it a shot. Remember, programming is iterative. Start with something simple, make sure it works, add one more complex, test it, test again, fix your bugs, and finally you come up with an end program. And here we are at an end of the original if check. So I do love that it reminds you to put your ends in. That when my ComputerCraft tutorials in the past, people are like, doesn't work, nothing works, you suck at programming. And then they reply back, oh, never mind, I forgot to put an end at the end. Okay, so let's see what this does. We're going to go over to our remote control just so we can watch him. I'm going to back up just a little bit so we can see. And let's go ahead and run the program. See, he moved forward. He dug up. He's going to go all the way up until he reaches something non-dirt. And he's going to come back all the way down, or non-wood. And there he goes. Oh, no. So we found our first bug. We forgot. Remember, we told Leo, we guarantee there'll be saplings in that first slot, and then we didn't hold our end of the bargain. So let's get the bunch of oak saplings, put them in his inventory in slot 1. We'll move the wood over, and now we'll go ahead and plant one of those. We'll get some bone meal. Make this, there he goes. And remember, we didn't put anything to tell him to keep doing this over and over. He only did it once. He was done. He's happy. He says, I chopped down my tree, Funshine. I'm done. No, dude. Leo, you're going to do this forever until we tell you to stop, okay? Okay. We're the sensei now. Thanks, Splinter. Okay. So what are we going to do now? Well, oh, I just turned him white. So if you right-click on somebody with a dye, they'll turn that color. Interesting. Okay. And now you're back to green, like you should be. So what do we do? Well, we could rewrite our entire program. Remember, because I said I need to insert something in here. Or we can do that library method. So we're going to hit new, and we're going to say, call this do forever. Okay, and that's a program where all we're going to say is do, oops, I want to say while, true, do, end. All right, and I'll do, oops, we actually called this wrong, but we'll remove that disk up there. I've already kind of previewed that. And let's call this tool tester. This is actually called fell tree. All right, so do forever is going to do just while true, do, tool tester, and it's going to run it forever. So normally in ComputerCraft this is bad because if you run a loop like this, you can never stop it until you either break the turtle or hit Control T. And if the turtle is moving around a lot, that's really hard to catch them. So I wouldn't recommend this in normal ComputerCraft unless you have, you know, if you intend to break him or he's not moving around a lot. Okay, because you don't want your turtle just off in the boonies doing something forever. While true, do, fell the tree, and we should be safe in ComputerCraftEDU. We'll go ahead and run that program, the do forever program this time, and hit run. Nope, we had an error. Attempt to call nil. Uh-oh. Let's try that again. You know what happened is probably because I told it to run tool tester, and then I changed the name to fell tree. So it was not smart enough to say, hey, the name of this program changed, change it here. And if we look back at the code editor, close your eyes if you don't like Lua code, you can see that it actually hard-coded in tool tester, which is the name of that other program. So take that disk out. Let's call it in fell tree. Now go to the code editor. It's right. Okay. Back here, run, go. We already know this part works. Let's make sure our sapling plant works. I'm going to go ahead and get some bone meal. And he planted the sapling. And if we go, remember now he's an infinite loop and he's checking to see if that is wood. He won't dig it until it's wood. This was a functionality item in ComputerCraft maybe 2 versions ago. Something originally was never intended to be added where he could detect the item ID or the name of the item in front of him. But it was by popular demand and it got added, and I'm happy about it. Because otherwise you had to have wood and saplings in his tree, and now he's white again, to actually compare things, but now it's just easy to detect or inspect. All right, let's get this to wood, and you can see as soon as the tree grew, instantly he comes in there, moves down, moves back, plants sapling. Okay, I think we had a successful program, guys. This is our felling turtle using the visual editor. We also tested all the tools so you know which tool to use in which circumstance. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned something. If you did, if you liked it, please hit that like button. Get the news out on social media that these tutorials are now available. Go download the mod, use it yourself. The link is in the description below on where you can download it from. Tweet at Dan200 if you have any suggestions or if you find bugs. And comment below if you want to suggest things for future tutorials. Other than that, guys, this has been FunshunX. Please subscribe to my channel, and you'll see more ComputerCraftEDU videos. Until next episode, I'll catch you later. Bye.